Welcome back. Do me a favor, hit the like button. You're listening to BJ Sax. Hit the like button. Thank you for being here. Hey Mario, good to see you, Mario. Good to see you. Hit the like button. Thank you. Let's get into the show. Hit the like button. Thank you.
You're not going to believe what happened.
Here we go.
I'll show you.
All right, I guess it was just right on time. Welcome back. Do me a favor, hit the like button. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. We're gonna have a good time. Hit the like button, share, subscribe. Let's bring everybody else into the room. Welcome back. My name is Ola, coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. What we do here is we extract life and relationship lessons from trendy topics, and of course today we're going to cover some interesting stories, but also we're just going to talk about dating, relationships, and marriage as usual. Welcome back. The energy it takes to play for that long. You're talking about the sax? Yeah. Anyway, welcome back. Good to see you all. Please help me ping everybody. Marit, if you can help me let everybody know I'm live in the backstage too. Maybe they wake up. But welcome. We have a show today that I think is very important. I'm going to react to a short clip from Toke Makinwa. Shout out to Toke Makinwa. She's pregnant with her first. Congratulations to her. Trigger alert. Today we're going to touch on some topics that might be triggering to you, ladies, especially you. I want you to pay attention today. I'm going to try my best to apply empathy as we talk through this topic, but I think there's a very, very important lessons, not just for single people, but for also married people. You notice that I said people, not just women, but also for men, both single, married men and women alike. There are some very, very important lessons I want us to extract from this conversation today. Yes, so we're going to talk about this. It might be a little bit sensitive. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate you, Marriott. It might be a little sensitive, but just pardon me, walk with me. If you have any questions, today would be a good time to ask questions about this type of things. The reality is a lot of people are confused, you know. So today, Linda Ikeji, Toke Makinwa, Tiwa Savage, Bad Bish, Jesus Baby, or confused. Which one is it? Let's talk. I just want to add some insights, offer some insights, I should say, to what is really going on with romance in 2025 and beyond. I think a lot of people are not paying attention. The married think is just about the single people. So what do? They shame single people. The single people think is just about the toxic marriages, trying to advise them. So what do? They apply same effort on people's necks. They stay wicked in this internet street. Honestly, all of us are involved. All of us are being influenced. Keep that in the back of your mind. All of us are being influenced in one shape, form, or the other. It's either you're being influenced to overreact, to get triggered, or you're being influenced to shame, to blame, to fault, to insult. But the conversation on the internet is not pretty across the board. So today I wanted to talk about it. But these are our influencers. Okay, these are our influencers, starting with Linda Ikeji, who started years back. These are just examples, right? But of course, shout out to D. Hey D, good to see you, D. But of course, we also have Ife. Let's not forget Ife. Ife is now married, right? Yeah, Ife is now married. So it's interesting. Ife and her lover are now doing relationship topics and shows and things like that, and I'm happy for them, and I think she got a good one there. I really do think that, and I think it's a big plus when you have a couple that actually have conversations around romance in general, not necessarily about their own romantic life, but that can actually be toxic if all you're doing is talking about, so what are we now, so what do we do about our relationship, don't you think we should talk to therapists? That's a very, very thick conversation that can go left easily. I'm not talking about that type of conversation. Yes, you should be free to ask for therapy or ask for counseling if you find your relationship in a poto, but there's a way to do it. Nigerian men, they don't want to hear the term counseling, therapy, or coaching. Their ego is a strong something. Their coconut head is heavy. There's a way to do it if you actually care about getting results. Okay, if you actually care about getting results, there's a way to do it, but you don't want to. Yeah, and the funny thing, the same thing is also applicable when it comes to asking your wife for counseling. Yeah, usually the coconut head is also heavy too. If you're the one that have to ask, usually she's long gone, and if you're asking and she's like reluctant about it, she probably left you a while back. So we're definitely going to be talking about that. So we have Toke Makinwa. We're going to, maybe if we have time, we'll play a little bit about this. I'm not in a rush today. And there's this young lady also who was crying on TikTok. My wife sent it to me. I thought it would be relevant for today's conversation. And of course, Tiwa Savage. I think Tiwa Savage said something about looking for someone's son who owns a private jet but doesn't have baby mama drama. That she's asking for now. Problem, Tiwa. I want a wealthy man with no baby mama drama. She called it someone's son that she's looking for now. So, the struggles are real across the board, like I was saying. The struggles are real. And like I said, it's not just about single people. It's not just about married people. But I think these are our influencers. And a lot of time, you guys just zone in on listening to these people, and they do a fantastic job. Okay? They do a fantastic job. Let me go ahead. Thank you so much for the 15,000 Naira D. I appreciate you. This goes a long way. A whole me, 15,000 Naira. Hey, where do we go with this? So, all right, let's dance. I'll refresh the page too. I will dance. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. So I was also able to use that break to refresh our browsers. All right. So what was I saying? So she wants somebody's son with no baby mama drama. There's a report here on Ghana web says Nigerian Afrobeats queen Tiwa Savage, who has been divorced since 2018 has stated that her love life is on pause and she's blaming it on sky high standards. In an interview on Apple Music One, the singer spoke about her 2023 hit Somebody's Son and the kind of man she hopes to find. The musician admitted that she is searching for love, but will not compromise on her expectations, which include wealth, stability, and a life free of baby mama drama. All right, let me see here. Yeah, so that's what she said. Let me see if I can play this on X for you guys so you can see it. All right, here we go. Listen.
And I think it's because I am still looking for someone, son.
Oh.
I don't have, and I think it's because I'm asking for specific things. Maybe I need to narrow my search down, because what I'm actually looking for is someone that has a private plane, a yacht.
Private plane, a yacht.
Someone who doesn't have baby mama dramas.
The way she pronounced yacht.
Yeah. So maybe, Shannon, is that my problem?
It was sweet, Baje.
Yeah.
Lower it down a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit.
But how did you? I am still looking for someone, son. I don't have, and I think it's because I'm asking for specific things. Maybe I need to narrow my search down, because what I'm actually looking for is someone that has a private plane, a yacht, someone who doesn't have baby mama dramas, because I can't. Yeah. So maybe, Shannon, is that my problem?
It might be.
Yeah.
Lower it down a little bit.
Really?
Just a little bit.
But how did you?
All right, so I'm not going to take her too seriously. I can sit here and say I'm not going to take her too seriously, but does she mean it? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They try to wrap it up into a format that seems like they're joking. It's not that deep. Yeah, but eventually somebody will fall pregnant. Yeah. Eventually somebody might just fall pregnant for somebody that don't seem to want them, right? That's what the news said. So I'm kind of pivoting in the direction of Linda Ikeji there. Why am I highlighting these ladies? These ladies are still young, so it's not really about them. I'm just using them as anchor. I'm just using them as anchor because they are our influencers, right? I'm looking at a report here published on this report was published on let me see, on May 20th 2018, according to Google, and you can see a much younger Linda Ikeji at this point. This was when she came out and told us, let me read this. It says, "Oh my God, the most amazing thing has happened to me. I'm going to be a mom. My greatest dream realized, baby bump photos." And she posted some baby bump photos, right? 2018 started with me finding out I was pregnant. Problems. Apostle, we hear of this.
Apostle, we hear of this.
That was 2018. That was the same year my wife and I started our marriage relationship coaching practice. 2018 started with me finding out I was pregnant when I missed my period, and my friend and I did a home pregnancy test and it read positive. My friend began to cry with happiness, but I was just there staring at the stick like, "You're not messing with me, are you?" No, like as in the pregnancy just snuck into the place, right? This is real and not a joke on me, right? I refuse to believe it. I wonder why. And asked my friend to drive me to a lab for another test, and there it was confirmed I was pregnant.
Apostle, we hear of this.
Anyway, she was pregnant. She was a grown woman. I don't like questioning these kind of things on grown women in general. Believe me or not, this conversation is very, very hard for me to have. I don't, at a public level. I mean, I would obviously counsel people behind the scenes, and there are many clients who've been able to successfully actually counsel through this type of dilemma, and also people that actually they didn't get pregnant but they knew they were doing something wrong and they needed proper counseling, and the pressure from family and friends doesn't really help, so they needed a neutral ground. So I'm very comfortable when somebody comes to me and say, And when I ask you what do you want, and they tell me this is what they want, I'm very comfortable. But advising, unsolicited advising strangers in the name of their celebrities is still a very difficult thing for me to do. So drink water. If you're going to be in the chat, comment later and say people are talking about people's life, and drink water. Okay, rest in peace. Anyway, this article says so many women have had children, so what's the big deal, huh? LOL. Well, you see me, I'm somewhat of a different case. There's something about me that I have never talked about publicly before, and that's the fact that I love children so much. You're going to see some alignment here between hers and Toke Makinwa's story. I mean, the average women that I know, they love children. Okay. So it makes sense. She said, I took that from my dad, and I am particularly obsessed with babies. And I mean that literally. As you notice, she's not really talking about how the pregnancy got there. Not yet. Did she ever talk about it? I don't know. Their pureness, innocence, she's talking about children. Their pureness, innocence, little beautiful faces, tiny hands, and soft cheeks make me just want to be around them. That was Linda Ikeji talking. Allegedly talking. Well, this is on our page, Linda Ikeji blogs. That's what I'm reading it from. She said, I grew up in a compound with a lot of neighbors, and believe it or not, as a teenager, young woman, I was the unofficial resident babysitter. Those events is what sowed the seeds of one day becoming a mother in the heart of a lot of young ladies, right? So that's why when people say, well, not everybody wants marriage, I'm like, yeah, we know that, but why did we say that again? Because nobody ever argued with that. Do you have something else you're trying to tell me? That's why I say that, because we know these things, but of course we're woke. So it's 2025 and beyond, and we just want to feel a little bit better. I understand. Okay. Again, trigger alerts. Okay, so let's just be mindful. I promise you, ask questions. There are some lessons in this today. The lesson is not pressure. Okay, the lesson is not pressure. The lesson is going to be more so about making the most out of your life, no matter what your status is. Okay, without having to deny yourself of your truth, without having to do shalaye, it's going to be more so of that. But like I said, this is true across the board. It's not just any particular status. Dating, relationship, talking stage, divorced, marriage, after divorce, it's all the same. Okay, it's about your skills. Do you have the skills to navigate life? That's really what it comes down to. Okay. Oftentimes we put marriage on this pedestal and we're trying to blame it all on marriage, or blame it all on external factors like family, friends, and stuff like that. But there's only so far you can go with that. She said their moms used to come drop the babies at our house whenever they were tired and wanted to go out. This was, of course, to the annoyance of my family. Laugh out loud. The first baby I carried was a boy named Makoba. Makoba is probably grown now. Wonder where he is now. This was about 20 years ago. So that Makoba will be about 26 years old now. He will be a big boy now. From the first day I carried him, I didn't want to let him go. So every time I had free time and his mom hadn't brought him to me, I would walk 2 floors up, knock on his family's door, and ask them if they wanted me to take the child off them for a while. Is it everybody that felt this? Every girl's no, that's not every girl that felt this way, but a lot of girls. You know a girl in your neighborhood that just wanted to babysit everybody's baby. You know that girl I'm talking about, right? Every one of us know that girl, right? So imagine that girl growing older and then finding herself in a state of confusion, like the rest of us find ourselves in a state of confusion sometimes. You hit midlife crisis or early midlife crisis, and then you're confused. It didn't pan out the way you dreamt about it, and you don't know what to do with yourself. Your parents were not capable, were not equipped to know how to counsel you. They've never prepared you for this aspect of life where you don't get to have everything you've ever wanted, right? What do? You turn around, you blame it on everything else but self, including God. Sometimes people will blame it on God. Oh my God. Anyway, she said, I was always happy when they said yes. After him, other moms started dropping their kids with me. Back then, my sisters and I used to take turns to cook every day of the week. I'd let my sisters to either hold the baby for me so I could go cook and then go cook. You see, the cooking wasn't necessarily about cooking. It was about playing house. You know what that means, playing house? Yeah, it was like about playing house, like just pretending like you are you have your own home, you're being a wife, you're being a mother, you have your own little kitchen where your mother don't have to dictate to you how you should, where you should put stuff or scold you, right? You just want to, you put that into play. Someone like that. It might not be you. Anyway, let me read this comment real quick. Mara says in her 40s with a baby and gorgeous, she can ask for anything. No, I don't. I'm missing some context there. All right, sorry, I came late to the chat. All right, so then my siblings started having children and I started to feel more joy. There were no longer neighbors or friends' children. Anyway, bottom line of the story is that she always loved children. She told us the story. She's a good storyteller, isn't it, right? I mean, she thrives. She still thrives, I think, off of blogging. That's Linda Ikeji was the original blogger. But she was also very particular about mentoring young girls, right? She, once upon a time, from some of the stuff I read, she also preached to young girls to keep their body, to I don't know how they say, to abstain, I don't think she was too particular about it, but that was part of her message at one point. So a lot of people felt disappointed when she suddenly, by mistakenly, fell pregnant. Let's leave Linda Ikeji alone, because this is actually an old story, right? So now that brings me up into today's video and this part that I want to listen to. Again, congratulations to Toke Makinwa, and she's done very well for herself. She has the right to celebrate, to live her life how she wants, but she's also telling us a story. She's a public figure, and by default she's giving us permission to also critique some of the things that she's saying here. For us here, we're going to try our best to make sure it's constructive for everybody listening. Okay, when it becomes a matter of life and death, particularly giving birth or somebody passed away, even marriage is something that holds a certain level of sanctity, right, that we must honor and continue to honor, right? Because why? Because it's basically family, more importantly, family is the cornerstone of our society. So we kind of hold that dear to our heart when it comes to how we talk about this, at least here, right? So we need to talk about this kind of stuff, because if you don't do these things properly within controlled environment, they can absolutely destroy your life. Okay, you see these girls, they have money, they have resources, they're going to be fine. Okay, they're going to be fine, but they're also kind of telling you that they haven't always been fine, but they are highlighting that for the first time. Looks like they've always highlighted the baby girl for life, baby girl forever. Do you boo, do what works for you. I can't tell you what to do. It is not in my place to tell you. They've always told you that, but not really. They've also been influencing you to live your life a certain way. And let me shock you or repeat my point again. They've been influencing your wives, gentlemen. Yes, they've been influencing your wives. Guess what? They've been influencing you too, because you tend to overreact. Right? You go on the internet space, you see men overreacting to Toke Makinwa. In fact, I was hearing one that was saying, God punish Toke. Why? Because he lost his wife. And he's blaming it on influence from Toke Makinwa. Whereas he hasn't realized that Toke Makinwa is actually influencing him himself, because Now suddenly he can't be a man enough to address his personal family issues. He has to blame it on a Toke Makinwa. So is Toke Makinwa influential or not? Influencing a full-blown, grown married man. Of course, married woman too, right? Married women who always think the grass is greener on the other side. The grass always seems greener on the other side. Trust me. It's probably green, but it's probably because somebody is watering it. Or maybe it's fake, it's synthetic. Anyway, let's listen to Toke Makinwa. Let's see what she's saying here. This was a video she released yesterday. And then let's dice it 1 minute at a time. Okay?
It's not all in between, it's just what it is. But one of the things I said to myself turning 40 was I wanted to become a mom. And I wanted to possibly give marriage another shot. And I remember starting the year and I did Hallelujah Challenge, guys. If I tell you that I've done Hallelujah Challenge before, but this particular Hallelujah Challenge last year, January, February, I remember thinking to myself, you have to do what you've never done to get from God what you've never gotten. Again, don't blame me, guys.
Wait. You have to do what you've never done to get what you've never gotten from God. I wonder what that is. You know how some people will interpret that, right? Let's keep going.
This video is going to cover so many things, so let me just rush on.
I'm not going to play all the videos, just a little bit.
In a CAC background, I went to MFM, and MFM is a great church. I always tell people it's a church for warfare. There's different parts of our spirituality, right? There's reading the word, there's praying, there's warfare, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think what that had done to me at some point is to almost believe that I was in a transactional relationship with God, where you feel like in order to, these are what I want, these are the things I want. I'd written it down. I'd even written down that October 25th. I wrote the date down.
All right. So she just talked about a transactional relationship that she had with God. You know, one thing that's very interesting about this Jesus baby people is I don't think they can turn it off. This transactional relationship with God, I think it's just what it's going to be. They might reword it in a different way, but it still comes down to the same thing. You know, if you do this, then you do this for me. If you do this, yeah. How do you think the pastors get rich in Nigeria? You know, I was reading a report earlier on. Five of the richest pastors in Africa, no, in the world, they're from Nigeria. Well, how do you think they get rich? No, that is still money. No, contrary. And it's not church money either. As a matter of fact, I met somebody recently who is actually very close to Oyedepo's camp, and we talked at length. It's not, in fact, Oyedepo, and I believe him, they don't really mix church money with their personal money. They don't need to, especially if they've been doing this for decades. People just throw money at them. People throw money, resources. They want to build a house. Don't worry, Papa, we'll get it done. Why? They're sowing seeds. I can't blame them. I'm just telling you, that's how it works. So, but it's a testament to the transactional relationship that people have with God. We're human beings, so I'm not really expecting anything more, to be honest. But she's making a point there. She had a transaction, but she's going to tell us that she changes it, but she didn't change it. But let's listen a little bit more.
So that day to be, my registry, and I wanted to be with a cute bomb. I'd called Tiwa Bello, shout out to Tiwa Bello, and I paid her for a photo shoot because I was turning 40, and I said, my 40th birthday, I said, agree with me, it's going to be a maternity shoot. And of course, we prayed, and she agreed. Yeah, I'm a spirit girl. Forget what you say online. I sabi Bible, I sabi God. So, that started, and I did something that I have never done before. I sewed. I did something. I can't. One day I would share that with the world.
Tell us.
But I took something that was precious to me and I sold it. And I thought to myself, I'm not going to touch this money. I'm going to give it straight to Hallelujah Challenge. Because we were raised to believe, you hear different sermons, give your tithe, do this, do that. Wait, there's nothing wrong. We don't think I'm condemning that. But I'm telling you.
She's going to sow seeds, right? She's going to sow it to what? Hallelujah Challenge. People come to us and sometimes say, hey, John, what's his name? Nathaniel Bassey. Shout out to Nathaniel Bassey, right? The gospel musician. out of Nigeria. He doesn't monetize his YouTube challenge. They said Dusin Oyekon does not they don't monetize their YouTube. It is all God. Right? I agree. It is all God, because every beautiful thing, everything, all of it is all belongs to God, including me and you, right? So I agree. That's not what I'm talking about. I agree. It all belongs to God. So of course it's all God, right? But they're saying they didn't monetize their YouTube channel or their content or anything like that. And come to find out, Toke Makinwa, according to her, she's been selling some of her big stuff and giving the money to Hallelujah Challenge. Well, I get it. You're right. Hallelujah Challenge put it together and they spent it on the need. The need, what do you call it? The need, what do you call them? The underprivileged in Nigeria. Okay, let's just assume best case scenario. But you get the point. You get the point, Abby. Since she sold money, of course.
You get it? If you don't get it, forget about it.
Okay, she's going somewhere. She's giving us a testimony on her YouTube channel. Let's continue.
That my own journey had become very transactional with God, where I felt like all it would take for him to do this for me is for me to sow in this season like I've never sown before. And I did. I think I called my sister and she was the only one I told. And I said, I'm going to do this. And she's like,
thank you, Uncle Patrick.
Honor your faith. And that was that. I remember going through the year and trying at, becoming a mom.
Okay. So many men think they need to completely.
Now we're gonna pay some bills. It gets real, huh?
But they're dead wrong.
Speaking of monetization,
and I tried twice, and it just wasn't happening for me. I launched TM Beauty in the middle of a depression.
All right, so she tried twice. What did she try twice? She tried to have a baby twice. Okay. And it didn't happen. It didn't happen at the time. But Jesus babies, I thought there were some kind of standards to how we approach this thing called family. But all that is going out the window. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She's a grown person and she gets to do it how she wants to do it. She has the right. She's not doing anything illegal. She's not doing anything criminal. She's just want our fair share of being a mother. And I can respect that. But the reason why I'm highlighting this is for the people that are easily influenced by influencers. For some reason, or not call Milena. The people that are easily influenced by woke influencers. I hope you are paying attention that they always present to you what they want you to see. Not just them, me too. Me too. I only present to you what I want you to see. I don't reveal everything about me to you. I have the right to do that. So it is your responsibility to discern through all of that. It is your responsibility to listen to what I'm saying. If it makes sense, it doesn't make sense, you take the meat, you throw out the bone. Right? But what do we know about young women and men of nowadays? They take everything they hear on the internet and it becomes their truth. It becomes their truth, not always directly as in I'm just following Toke Makinwa blindly. No, it's not always direct like that. Sometimes it's indirectly. Sometimes it's in the form of you overreact to, like for example, Toke Makinwa might have been living with you and your wife for a while. So the moment you find out, what do? You overreact. As opposed to look at the reality and say, hey, why is there a void inside of my family that Toke has the much influence on my family? That's what you should be paying attention to as a grown man. But before you know it, Toke is actually influencing you because you don't have the leadership skills to lead your family. So there's a massive void, and people like Toke, people like Linda, people like what's her name, Blessed CEO, and people like Tiwa Savage, they've taken a seat, massive seat inside of your family. Sometimes it's just entertainment for your wife. Sometimes it's not. Bottom line, it doesn't matter. It's about when crisis presents itself, do you even have the skills to react? Because you're not going to turn off the internet. You're not going to turn off media. It is what it is. It's always been that way. It's just that, yes, of course, social media is a much more powerful form of media than any other type of media we've ever had in the history of mankind. So what did she say She went through depression. Now, she did not show that part to us. She's showing us that part now in this very beautiful, overjoyed space where she's at. One of the biggest things that can happen to women is looking forward to being a mom. So it makes sense that she's overjoyed at this point in time. But what about all those people that were influenced before? It's not her fault. It's your fault. If you were influenced by her in the past, and somehow you haven't paid attention to yourself because you were so happy because you've seen people happy on the internet and you don't really know them, that's still your fault. If it has to be anybody's fault, it's still your fault. At least you must be responsible for that, right? She's still talking. She saw a seed while she was somewhere around that 40. She tried to do what's her name with Tiwa, a photo shoot. She wanted it to be with a baby bump. It didn't happen, and she went through a depression. Mario says, money, the money doubler God. That's what Nigerians worship, by the way. It's just what it is, okay? All right, so let me keep playing this. Let's keep going.
People did not know that I was depressed. It just wasn't happening for me. I launched TM Beauty in the middle of
TM Beauty is our
depression.
company, our business.
People did not know that I was depressed. You literally see me out at those activations, laughing,
Baby
excited,
girl for life.
jumping, but my soul was empty. I was tired.
Wow.
I was tired of believing and hoping and having to be betrayed. I mean, people will look at us as entertainers and people who you think you have our lives figured out, and they're not things that we want to happen for us. Because to the world at large, I was doing it. I had my own signature perfume brand. My career is on fire. I'm shooting movies. I'm traveling the world. And, literally, I've got it all together. But I didn't share the fact that I'd had a couple of failed attempts of trying to be a mom. And I remember this particular tweet where somebody tweeted at me. I don't know how they found out my personal business.
They know.
But the person wrote that tweet online that this is why your 2 IVFs had failed.
Wow. The internet, they are vicious. They are wicked every time of the day of the week, right? And when you're a public figure, I mean, you have no idea what those people go through in their DMs. People attack them, and guess what they tend to engage the most? The negative stuff. If you happen to be the lovey-dovey fan and you're always appreciating them, they don't give a F about your appreciation. Their brain is much more attracted to the negative one, all the things that call them out on all the places where they fall short. But yet, they're influencing us. I'll get to the point of today's conversation. I just want to play it a little bit more because, again, like I said, I think it's very important that we have this conversation because Nigerians worship God, and not just God. They worship God of money. Nigerians in particular. But if I want to add on to it, I'll say black people in general. Black people in general, even here in America, when they worship God, when they have relationship with God, it's usually with the God of money. And that's why it's very easy to get them with things like LSSC, scam, anything that looks like multiply my money overnight, anything that looks like just money and materialistic stuff. It's black people that fall for that for the most. We don't know how to look into the future long term, right? We don't know how to see a bigger picture, which is why we fall to be easily influenced by just aesthetics on a screen. And that's really one of the major points I want to highlight today. You should know when to get entertained and leave it at that. It's just entertainment, right? But subconsciously, I mean, to be fair to all of us, these things happen at a very subconscious level. You're being influenced. Your dressing, your fashion, your culture, the way you do life is being influenced until you find out that there's some things that don't change. One of them being time. It doesn't change. The fact that nothing lasts forever. There's nothing that lasts forever. The very reason why I'm always talking about humility in terms of listen a little bit more than you talk. listen a little. I don't have to encourage you to talk. You have to listen a little bit more than you talk. So there's a lot of stuff I'll talk about before we end the show. Not too many, but let me just play a little bit of this video again. Again, this is the reality of what it looks like for all of us. We'll get through a phase in life. They call it the valley of the shadow of death, where it feels like your life is crumbling. But these people are paid to basically, yes, pretend that it's not happening to them. I saw the video reacting to some negative comments today. I'm like, it's just never enough. Imagine if money was so enough that you never feel the need to react to negative people again. But we're all emotional people, right? So if you say something wrong to me, something that have an impact on me, you might not even intend, but your intentions don't always match the impact. And what really matters in the grand scheme of things, in the bigger picture, is the impact. If there's an actual relationship, right? Let's play a little bit more.
Nothing has caught me in my life as much as that tweet. Jesus, I'm not crying because you motherfucker didn't deserve my tears. But it made me go back to God and say, look at me. I've become the person that people are now terming barren. On Snapchat, you post this, people are like, don't go and born. I just wish you go and have a baby. Just do this. And I'm like, just because I haven't sat with a ring light and told you guys how I tried and it did not work, how I got disappointed on this journey, because I didn't want to talk about it, but that was happening behind the scenes. I stopped praying. I stopped going to church. I had totally given up. I was like, yeah, this is no, even if you talked about God around me, I was so cynical. I'll just be like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah.
So now she has beef with God.
And that went on for months. I remember one particular Sunday morning, I've never shared this. I know this is going to make the blogs, but when God comes through for us, it's not just for us. It's for us to share with other people who are also in the weight, who can draw strength from us and believe that if he came through for this person, surely he can do it for them. I woke up on Sunday morning and my driver wasn't around and I was driving to church. And I got behind the wheel and I drove to after Aja, and I did not realize I'd been bawling. And I snapped back into myself and I realized I'd passed Second Toll Gate, I'd passed Chevron, how did I get here? I had to pull myself together and then turn around. Church service had ended because I'd been driving for like 2 hours or 2.5 and I did not realize. At that point, I knew that my mental health was going through it. I remember saying to God, I think it was at one of the events when we launched my perfume. And on my way, I was like, why don't you just call me home now?
Wow. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to leave that at that. But I think you guys get the gist. What's the gist? What's the overall gist here? Be careful what kind of woke ideas you might be telling yourself. There are some principles that are timeless. Like I said, one of them is that nothing lasts forever. Meaning, we need to be a little bit more respectful of time. What do we mean by that? Even now, as you're here right now, you need to be living life to its fullest. It doesn't matter what your relationship status is. It only matters as much as you make it matter. When you're in denial about it, it matters even more. You're making a big deal out of it when you're denying it, right? But when you're able to embrace it as this is who you are and this is where God wants you to be, it becomes a very powerful tool for you, because even if you desire another status, you need to first of all acknowledge where you are. You need to appraise it. You need to appraise it properly, meaning appreciate it properly, right? Because there's a blessing that comes with where you are right now. So and if you don't know how to, if you understand the parables of the talents, if you don't know how to appreciate that properly, yeah, you're probably going to miss it, right? Because it's a testament to how terrible you are when it comes to being resourceful. The key here is that you want to be resourceful, not waiting for all the resources to happen to you. And sometimes when we do that, what we do, the way we do it is we look at other people's life and then we want to be like them. Again, it's a very dicey thing, right? Because you can actually look at other people's life and desire certain aspects of their life, but there's a way you do it that becomes some type of obsession. There's also a way that you are in denial about it, that it becomes the inverted version of the obsession, but you're not acknowledging your truth. So eventually, something goes, and let me give you another principle here. There's something that goes undefeated in this life. Yoruba people say, one day, so whatever the actual truth is, will always catch up. So why not acknowledge it today? I'm not talking about somebody's truth of what they're telling you, what your truth is supposed to be. I'm just talking about things. Some people might call it realist, but people that call themselves realist also tend to cap a lot. Okay, they're just trying to paint a picture. Like, for example, somebody earlier on said today, shout out to him, because again, we're trying to learn through this stuff, but I need to be saying these things as they are, because people are not listening when I sugarcoat too much. He said abuse is subjective, and then he goes and say, to me, something is not abuse, but you're the judge. How can you say something is subjective, right? And then you're now saying to you, what about the abused? What about the accused abuser? Who's going to be the judge? Should it be the victim or the villain, right? In terms of in trying to understand what that person is going through, obviously the person who is accusing another person is going through it, and the best thing you can do is listen to them, and you cannot determine based on your threshold. So a lot of people will say, I'm just a realist. That's not abuse, right? And really, actually, they're the one that's delusional, because the judge of that will be, can you stop swinging the door? Thank you. These people. I've got a bunch of grown people in my house that don't know their limits. You see what I'm saying? I got caught in the middle of a thought there. So some people might call themselves realist, but they're trying to create your truth for you. I'm talking about, when I say truth, I'm talking about truth. I'm talking about in terms of time, in terms of your actual available resources, and being resourceful about those things. Your status today is the resources you've been accorded. If you're in a position with a wife who is disrespectful to you today, that is actually your resources that you have today. Do you know what to do with that situation? That's exactly where you need to be today. That's exactly where you need to be today, to look closer and look for opportunities to improve and get to the next level in your life. But what are you going to do? I'll tell you what I think you're probably going to do if you're like most people. You're going to compare your wife to other people's wives. You're going to say your wife has been following Auntie B, and that's what's affecting your marriage. You're going to say your wife has been following Toke Makinwa, and that's affecting your marriage. And in the real sense of things, overall, in final analysis, you are the one being influenced, because you can't think straight anymore. You saw one little video on our phone, and then before you know it, you lost your shit. Is it your fault? No, it's not about that. It's about you don't have the skills. You need skills to navigate this life, especially in this social media age, where you might have a social butterfly, baby girl for life, like Toke Makinwa, like Tiwa Savage, and all these people are painting a picture for you too. Before you know it, you don't know how to keep your household together anymore, and you overreact as opposed to saying, no, those are rain, sunshine, snow, blizzard, and those things will happen. I'm still responsible for keeping my house, my affairs in order. Either you're a single lady, you're a married woman, a single woman, or a married man. All of this is applicable to all of us. The point of this conversation is the influence. You need to take control of the influences in your life. It's not going to be as simple as shaming. If you're using shaming tactics, it's going to backfire. It's poisonous. Okay? Because at the end of the day, they're just humans too. They're painting a picture, and that's their job. That's what they're supposed to do. And no, I'm not going to join you to tell a grown person on how to live their life, as long as they're not committing any kind of crime. No, I'm not going to turn around and say Tiwa Savage, a single mother who left her husband. She had her reasons why she left her husband, right? You have people say people are too low on tolerance. What do you mean by low on tolerance? In my opinion, my humble opinion, I think you don't have to preach tolerance to people. In fact, especially men, you tolerate too much. You tolerate too much. You're nurturing nonsense in the name of you just want to keep it together. As opposed to say, something is not right. We need to have a healthy relationship. You just push things along, and then one day your wife wakes up and says, no, I want something better. And also, what do we have? We have 90% of divorces initiated by women. You don't even know how to interpret such data properly. You just look at it and say, yes, it's their fault. They no longer tolerate. They are following people like Toke Makinwa around. Really? That's the only thing you can come up with? Entertainers, Alagbe. That's all you can come up with. Nothing else. You can't come up with anything else other than that. What about, what was I looking at? How did I miss it? Right? What about that? So again, this conversation touches all of us. It touches all of us. Okay? A lot of us are hypocrites. Okay? We'll paint a picture. You know, she's a Scorpio like me. We have the same birthday. I think D was talking about that earlier on, right? Yeah. Women who are Scorpio, they have a tendency, I've noticed, I could be wrong, I've noticed they have a tendency to try to paint a picture and create something out of delusion. She actually alluded to that earlier on, right? It is what it is. So they will tell a story to make it look good and to wrap it together. Like they will basically manipulate you if you allow them, if you don't have your own senses intact. And guess what? Especially if they get paid to do that. She, in this video, go watch it. She talked about how she would jump on flights back and forth, and she will go and she will cry, and she was just going heavy at work. She couldn't rest one day because all the success was coming, but she was not happy. Materialistic things, they will never make you happy. Okay? Money is very, very important. Trust me. Money is very, very important. You know, Pastor Fato Imbo was getting dragged over the past few days for trying to drag Babalola. He was getting dragged for trying to drag, but he said he was doing all kind of miracles and stuff, but no money. He got dragged for it. You know, but those are your pastors now. They preach about money. They tell you to sow some seeds so you can make money. He was preaching to a bunch of pastors on the importance of money and the fact that lack of money destroy ministries. He has a point, I guess. You need money. It does have a point, you know. But again, there's a point you get to that you need a little bit more than that. You know, if I were them, I would focus on value. And I'm asking you to do the same thing right now. Value. What value do you bring to your own life so you can pour into other people? That's really what it comes down to. What value do you bring into your own? Are you pouring value to yourself from time to time? Because if you're not doing that, you're gonna get hit with a trigger, a curveball. This is life. I always told you it's not about marriage, it's about life. You're going to be thrown a curveball from time to time. Are you equipped to manage those crises when they do happen? Do you know what to do with yourself today? Have you taken the inventory of where your life is, your status is today, and say, hey, these are the resources, even if it's a simple life, right? Even if it's simple, just that I have life. Can you be appreciative about that today? Or it sounds too kumbaya to you. It sounds like Ola is preaching today. You can't relate. If you can't relate, there's more than enough Toke Makinwas on the internet streets. They will help you. Let me play a little bit of this video. Shout out to Ife. Ife has since moved on from painting. So once in a while, she says certain things and the husband will catch her hand. No. Let's play a little bit of this. Let's see if we can get something out of it.
Can I see you without the makeup?
But why are you doing makeup for FaceTime now?
Some men do test of beauty. That's rubbish.
What's test of beauty?
If you meet somebody as she is and you try to get to know her,
Yes.
I don't think the first thing is trying to strip her off her makeup to say, let me see what you look like before we begin. A man that wears hats all the time, the woman will say, I want to see what you look like without a hat.
Are you throwing shade at me?
Okay, no, because I've seen your hair. I have seen your hair.
Wow.
And God is on our side on this hair. Let me just tell you.
Welcome to our podcast, dear Ife. Welcome to Middle Ground with Frank and Ife. And this is episode 2 already. Wow, I feel like we've been here for a long time.
Really?
Yes, I feel like we have.
Let's jump to 20 minutes.
Congratulations.
Let me see
Hey
here.
guys, did you know some drivers
pay
are
some bills.
ditching their car insurance and they're doing this? And
Just will be what will be on your mouth.
Will be on your mouth.
Yes.
I'm happy for you. Wishing you all the very best.
There's even statistics that says that the more costly, this is statistics. This is not me now. The more costly a ring is, the more likely that relationship will spoil.
It's not true.
I'm serious. There's a
Rubbish
statistic.
statistics.
I'm serious. There's a statistic like that.
Rubbish statistics. Let's move on.
Okay.
So what's our middle ground? Definitely we both agree.
Give
Let's
it
do
up
that.
for free, cutlass.
Ew.
You know the other farm implement
Yeah.
or farm instrument. Sorry, might want to sit this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else responds to her and says,
I'm
Morgan.
just looking for a segment here, guys.
The first person says,
Oh,
you give it.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, it's up.
A lady posted an engagement ring and said, I won. Another lady responded, the ring size skeleton emoji.
Wow.
Skeleton emoji means dead. Means ring size dead. It's not her business. She just went into somebody else's tweet to respond and give her public opinion.
Okay, first of all, the I won. What do you think about that? Saying I won, like in a picture. Like, what did you win?
Yeah, so this is something after I've read, the comments. I
Yes.
keep saying that you don't know what she meant
Yes.
by I won. That is why, as much as possible, I don't like to make
Jump into conclusion.
assumptions.
Yeah.
I don't know why she said I won. Maybe she and the guy have gone through a lot.
Or maybe they had a bet safe, like, you know what? If I pick the right ring, I'm going to post it and say I won.
Do you get? Maybe this is the ring I posted and I wanted and he got it for me.
Yes, yeah.
Whatever the case may be, I don't think it matters.
Yes, no, it
because
doesn't.
if somebody gets engaged and said I won,
Yeah.
it's not my business. If she was my friend, I know I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she's not.
Okay.
The next thing for me to do, if I had something to say, is congratulations.
Of course, but not this lady.
Not the ring size dead.
And it actually gets it gets more complicated. So somebody else responds to her and says,
Morgan.
No. The first person says,
Oh,
you give it up for free, cutlass.
Ew.
You know the other farm implement
Yeah.
or farm instrument, sorry, might want to sit this one out.
And the lady who said the ring is dead replied, Morgan, your baby daddy abandoned you. You are raising a bastard child.
Wow.
But yet somehow, some way, you think you're better than me on anyone on this app. Do you know this is funny? You said somebody's ring is dead. Only you came and said you think you're better than anyone on this app. You gave it up for free, go left in the dust, and now post rage bait on X to supplement the inadequacy of your monthly child support payments.
Anyway, that's Ife and Frank going at it as a couple. Ife used to be a very proud feminist, and she also left her fans behind. A lot of people are talking about that. But there's this one last video that I want to play for us. I'm actually watching it for the first time, but I saw it going viral over the past few days, and I thought it's very important that we talk about this. Okay, I haven't watched it. My wife sent it to me, so I'm going to be watching with you guys. Let's listen.
Every single day of your life, every day you gotta deal with somebody. Is marriage even worth it? It's not.
The caption says, "Why do you want to be married?"
At some point, you're gonna realize that it's always best to just be alone. Because I've been married for about 7 years, and I don't even know if this is worth it. Like,
let me
I'm not
lower
saying
the
that there's
background
anything
music a little bit.
necessarily wrong. There's nothing wrong, and that's the point. Like, I don't even know why I am upset. I'm just like not thinking that I made the right decision. Like,
She's been married for 7 years, yo.
And that's not the point. The point is, it's like you really do lose yourself. You lose your sense of individuality. You lose your sense of peace. And this could be even to a good man. like you're gonna lose something, and I don't think it's worth it, like at all. I've always had a dream of like getting out of my hometown, like city, and moving on, like moving forward, like life is supposed to be experience, like we're supposed to be doing new things and traveling and all that, and I do all of that. But at some point, like, I don't know if I want to continue doing this every single day of my life, like always checking in with someone, always having to consider their feelings, it's always somebody else. You're never alone. Like, you never have a moment to yourself. You never can do that. And I don't know, like, and there's gonna be some bitches out there that say, like, oh no, you should no, like, be fucking weird and not a real ass couple. But I really want girls to know, like, even if it's absolutely worth it, I don't think it is. Even if you found the most perfect man, it's not worth it. It's not, like,
even if you find the most perfect man, it's not worth it.
And maybe that's why so many men tell older women they're gonna die alone and be so sad. I'm sad with a great man.
She's sad with a great man.
Maybe it's just like not my personality, and like I know girls are out there that like dying for like a relationship like mine. Like, he takes care of me, but like, I'm sorry, like, like you can't, like, I can't even really barely deal with myself and my own emotions. Imagine somebody that you know for such a short amount of time, because you're never gonna know that man like you think you do. And that's just not in a negative way. Like, I just don't think marriage is for me. And I'm tired of it. And I don't know what else to do, because this is like imagine living a fairy tale and it's nothing like you imagined it. You're living your literal fairy tale and it's not what you want. It's not what you want. Even if you think that you want it, even if it's exactly what you dreamed of, it's still just, I don't know.
All right. Let me go to the comments. I want to see the comments. All right. So these are D says, I see lies in those eyes. Auntie, your face is dry. What are you drying, wiping in there? Okay, all right. Let me see the comments. You know, the comments is where the real truth is, right? She could be lying for real. Somebody said, married 30 years and I've never felt like this. Some people should stay single. Okay. Now, why am I painting this picture for you? Like, there's going to be more than enough people out there that will paint this kind of picture of marriage to you. The reality is that a lot of people are crying like that instead of marriage. Okay, that's the reality. Here's another part of the reality. You know, two things can be true at the same time. Another part of the reality is that some people actually enjoy marriage. And usually those people, they've just learned something. They've learned something beyond just expecting marriage to just be happy without doing anything. They're not looking to get something with nothing, right? They are willing to put in the work. That's what separates the losers from the winners. They are willing to be intentional, even when sometimes it's frustrating, but usually the outcome is, is better. Anyway, somebody said, even a good man is draining. Another person said, free him so he can find a proper partner. Okay, that person, believe it or not, still have some hope, right? That's why they're saying that. They're saying, free him so he can find a proper partner. Somebody said, this is nuts. We are so doomed. They are scared. I am ninja. Anyway. Somebody said, a diary is not a thing anymore. This internet is a diary. Forget that thing. Somebody said, the older I get, the more I understand Tracy Ellis Ross. That's the person that said, Tracy Ellis Ross. In fact, today, not just too long ago, I saw Tracy Ellis Ross, right? You know, she's go happy. What? How do you guys say that? You know, she's always happy, and you know, we talked about her the other time when she came on Michelle Obama's to come and tell us how she had intentionally stayed single. Let's stop the cap. This woman is beautiful. This woman is beautiful. Okay. So I don't blame people that look at her and say, her life must be perfect. Just looking at her on the screen. Look at a 50-something-year-old woman. Kilo day. Why? Right? So I don't blame the people that just would look at this and say, she must be so happy. If you fall for that and then you end up miserable, that's your fault. Anyway, it doesn't mean she's not happy. Let's get back to some of the comments here. I'm just looking at some of this comments while we're still talking about Toke Makinwa with a bundle of joy on her way. I think she actually did the gender reveal. I think she's expecting a girl. But again, this conversation is not really about that. We're just using this as an anchor. Congratulations to her. So somebody said, I'm so glad women are finally speaking out about this and no longer pretending. Is it the first time women are speaking out about how unhappy they are in marriages? You know, again, today, in fact, let me read this out to you. I was just pulling that up earlier on. Let me see if I can find it. In the US, women initiate most divorces. Studies over the past few decades, including work by Stanford sociologist Michael Rosenfield, have found that around 2/3 to 3/4, that's about 66 to 75% of divorces are initiated by women. That gender gap is especially strong for married couples. But when looking at non-marital breakups, dating and cohabiting, initiation rates are closer to 50-50. They say men are pulling the plug when they are not yet married. But once they are married, a man is typically locked in for life. Even if he's suffering and seeing shege there, he won't know when to back off. How will he? Anyway, the reasons researchers suggest include women often report, these are the reasons. Women often report lower relationship satisfaction compared to men before divorce. This is what I was trying to pull up. Okay. To counter what this person said, I am so glad women are finally speaking out about this and no longer pretending. The second reason, traditional gender roles can leave women carrying more emotional and domestic labor. We kind of know that already, right? So that's a weight that they have to carry that at some point they get to. If they don't get support from men, they'll say, hey, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. And thirdly, women tend to have stronger social support networks outside of the marriage, making separation feel more feasible. Things like shelter, things like welfare, things like, there are many welfare, things like that can pose as opportunities that women can look at and say, you know what, maybe I don't have to deal with this stuff anymore, and they can leave. Those are the reasons that they gave. But I wanted to pull out the fact that we do have more reports coming from women, and it's been that way for a while. It's just recently that we start to see men crying the wrong way, typically just getting angry with single people or single mothers on the internet. Somebody said, poor guy, let him go. Somebody said, marriage is hard. Relationships, hold on one second, guys. Let me have all right, so somebody said, poor guy, let him go. Marriage is hard. Relationships are hard. Being single is hard. But being single is the easiest of the hard. There are actually studies that show that people are happier when they are single and all that kind of stuff. But again, don't you want to dig deeper into those kind of studies before? It doesn't matter. Whatever the stat says out there, focus on what you want, acquiring the skills you need to go after what you want. The pursuit of happiness is really all you need to really create the level of happiness and fulfillment you're looking for in life. You don't really need to. There's no destination anywhere. Let me break your bubbles or bust your bubbles. Even after you're married, it's an ongoing thing. Your happiness is up to you, and of course with the help of your partner. Never mind what anybody says. Only you can make you happy. No, your surroundings can also influence your happiness. Marriage is hard. We look at it. Another one said, I just wanted wedding cake, not marriage and commitment. Someone said, marriage is not a flex anymore. I'm happily single. Okay, shout out to you. Someone says, I'm single, but I really think you should see a marriage counselor. Someone says, take a solo trip, even if it's just a local hotel. You need space. Someone says, you just need a vacation, a break. Someone says, I got 3 words for you. Tracy, Ellis, Ross. Look at Tracy. Look at this. Oh, I don't believe these pictures are beautiful. Oh my God. Right? Have you guys ever been to a photo shoot before? It's one of the hardest shit you ever do in your life. It looks beautiful. It's going to be just as hard, if not harder than marriage. Just in case you didn't know. You never know anything. You never see anything. Anyway, yeah. Let's get back to it. Let's get back here. And then we round up. We're rounding up, guys. We're rounding up. So, I hope people see my comments. Book Healing Isn't Pretty by Myra Hudson. It's, I guess, a book. Healing Isn't Pretty by Myra Hudson was like a therapy that changed my life. I see everything different now. That's good. That's good. Also, check out Get My Marriage Back from manofprestige.com. And Number One Red Flag. These are good books. Okay. Someone said your honesty and transparency are appreciated. That person disagrees with D. They said that crime is real. Someone said, great, get a divorce, because it's kind of mean to come online boo-hooing when nothing is wrong. You sound like you're over the relationship and that's okay. But imagine if he did it to you instead of speaking up. I don't mean to no harm. It's just you seem unhappy regardless of the relationship is good and not. And you need to put yourself first. All right, I can rock with that. Someone said maybe you didn't take time to discover yourself. I want self-discovery people today. Anyway, let's leave it alone, guys. Do me a favor, hit the like button. I see Toby and Tribe. Let me read this real quick. She's just heartbroken and confused. When she finally meets her soulmate, she will say he was worth waiting for. I think she's married. She's been married for 7 years. Yeah, she's saying she thinks she made the wrong decision 7 years ago. Yeah. Do me a favor, guys. Hit the like button. I appreciate you guys for being here today. Help me ginger whatever you want to do to help a brother ginger the algorithms. Nobody is seeing these notifications because I've been taking time off and nobody is waiting for me. It's obvious. Okay, so the more you engage other YouTube channels, the less the chances that you get the notifications. Some of you will always get the notifications because you always support and you're watching even when I'm not consistent. Shout out to D and Marriott. I appreciate you. Shout out to Toby and Tribe. All right, and shout out to Uncle Patrick. I appreciate you for being here today. But help me ginger the algorithm. Take the link to this video and share it with somebody that will learn from it. The gist of today's lesson is this. The parables of the talent. Wherever you are today is exactly where you need to be. That's the resource that God gave you so you can create what you're looking for. Okay, stop comparing yourself to aesthetics on the internet because they're going through their own, no matter what it look like. Overwokeness will destroy so many people. People will literally carbon copy paste talking points that they've never really thought about well enough, and they will start pasting it everywhere. They will repeat it everywhere they go. Well, in reality, they're just human like the rest of us. We need love and connection. We need significance. We need security, safety. We need growth. It's a need. We need contribution. We need to contribute to other people's life, right? That's the way it works. I mean, I could easily show you that on the screen. That's the way every one of us need this in one shape, form, or the other. Not all of us need it in the form of marriage, okay? But marriage is just a container. If you do it the right way, that makes it a little bit easier if you are with the right person, right? It's just a legal life hack. That's why I always give the 7 purposes of marriage here. There's a legal life hack. Number 5 is romance, companionship, yes, family, legacy, multiplying, nation building. It's a legal life hack, but provided, condition, if you do it right. If you do it right, they all want it. Your influencers, especially the loudest ones, they all want this, okay? And they all are not going to get everything they want in life, like the rest of us, okay? And that's okay. That's actually what makes life meaningful. Just going after what you want and staying on that journey and being appreciative about every step in that journey, knowing that everybody is also on a journey. Just know this and know peace, and don't lie to yourself. It is okay to want what you want. It is perfectly okay to want what you want. It's okay to not want what you don't want. You don't need to do shalaye to me about that, or to anybody for that matter. Okay? And I understand in this internet street, they can be too wicked. They can put you in a position where you feel the need to explain yourself. You don't need to. You don't need to. If it's good, there's no need to fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? If it's broken, be honest about that and seek the help that you need. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications so you're notified when we go live. Hopefully you've been enlightened, educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.